Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of The Furniture with me, Daniel. It's Season 2, Episode 4, and today we're back as promised for the FA Cup second round, where we've got one of the biggest ties we could have away from home against League One high flyers Peterborough, before we play a top of the table clash in the National League as we look to close the gap to leaders Forest Green. But since the last episode, it was all going so well. I thought we were going into this one flying high with confidence and that we were going to have a chance of pulling off a shock. And then we played Wrexham in the last game. They played their narrow diamond and they played us off the park as well. Let's go and look at the results since you were last here. Obviously, one of my other big worries with the last game is generally this season the pattern's been when we've lost one game, we've lost two in a row. So Peterborough could well be the second of that. And let's hope Forest Green means we'll be back to winning ways in the league then. But in the last episode, just a few games ago, we beat Hartlepool and Forest Green. A really gutsy performance against a good Hartlepool side before we absolutely wiped the floor with Forest Green. And I very much hope we'll be able to do that again in the league game, though after back-to-back defeats that might be difficult. In the 3 games since, we played away to Barnet and were absolutely brilliant. Matt Foy with a brace after Scrimshaw and Williams got the goals. Williams again causing chaos from them set pieces. We then won 3-0 away at Ebbsfleet as well. Williams again on the score sheet. Barley Mumba continuing his brilliant form. And Matt Foy, as usual, nicked a goal. We then played at home to Wrexham and went 4-0 down. We started chasing the game and Scrimshaw got a brace, but then got sent off for an absolutely ridiculous 2-footed lunge in their 6-yard box in the 3rd minute of stoppage time when the game was gone. And as a result, he misses out on this cup tie. It's going to be extended, so he's probably going to miss the Forest Green and Sutton games as well. 2 games we really needed him for against top 7 clubs. Thankfully, Macau Kennedy's just back to fitness again, so he will get a chance to prove his worth and work his way back into the first choice team. No more signing since the last one. We've got a squad we're pretty happy with now, and I think we'll be waiting until January, maybe just for a loan signing or 2, but not much else to be done at the club, and there's 3 or 4 we really need to get out on loan as well. One of those being the young centre-half Tyler, who we've got some interest in at the moment, and our 3rd choice keeper Devine, who can't go just yet due to an injury to Jamie Jones. But it's all about 2 massive games today. They're going to be defining moments in our season. A huge FA Cup tie. If we get to the 3rd round, we'll be financially back in the black, can work on building a youth recruitment and getting a youth intake to start to build this team long term. And Forest Green will obviously determine whether we've got a chance at the title this year or we have to wait for another year. So there's plenty of league fixtures going on today, but we're not worried about them. We're in the FA Cup, the mighty competition. Peterborough are heavy favourites at home as you'd expect. You can see we've picked up a few key injuries at the wrong time. Jamie Jones, the keeper, we've already mentioned, but Darren White, the right back as well. He's been so good for us so far this season, and unfortunately he's out for this one. We already know Jake Scrimshaw's suspended for that obscene tackle in the last match, but let's look at the lineup we've got left for this game. There's a few areas I'm a bit weaker than I'd like to be, but overall we're not too bad, and we've just got to give it our best shot. Sub-keeper Billy O'Brien would have played anyway, so the injury to the keeper's not an issue for this one. He's in goal with Hume and Barthram at fullbacks. I'm a bit worried about Barthram at right back today, but there's not much I can do about that. Byrne and Williams are in the middle. Sokolik's not quite fit yet, he's down tired as well. And Sam Kelly, another one, the left winger, he's tired too. So we're actually missing 5 players in truth. We've got Edwards, John and Berkovitz on the wings, with Mumba and Payne playing central midfield. And Foy and Kennedy are up front, with no options on the bench bar Rawari Keating. We have put Harry Devine, the 3rd choice keeper, on the bench just because we've got 7 subs and we want to be safe. But other than that, we're pretty much down to the bare bones. Only Ryan Dixon and the youngster Tyler aren't in the squad. Oh, and John Pittman as well, but he's a player who's only here to be a scout basically. Let's get into the game and see if we can pull off one of the biggest of shocks. This would be an absolutely monumental achievement if we could do it, but I'm not entirely confident to be honest. So let's get into it and see what we can do. It's a 4-3-3 for Peterborough, the formation we played so many times this year. They've got so many talented young players and they're giving a few of them a chance today. They've rotated a little bit, but there's still enough of their first team, particularly in defensive areas. Byrne with the long clearance from the centre kick, and now Naismith's going to go back to the keeper for Peterborough. But we've got the ball down on the left and the highlight ends. We're staying on balance today. We don't want to change our game plan. We're going to keep doing what we do and hope it's enough. A very quiet first 20 minutes. It's the first real highlight we've had since the kick-off. O'Hara's got the ball to O'Keefe. Plenty of time in the middle for them. Woodyard out to Naismith. Naismith on the right-hand side. Back to Dembele. And Williams blocks it behind for a corner. They're sort of the club we want to follow the model of Peterborough. We want to get young players in through the club and from lower leagues as we move up. Obviously, once we do eventually reach the Football League, we will start to get a little bit of time and a little bit of money where we can not worry about our season expectations so much and bring in some younger players and give them a chance to develop. We've got a corner on the right here with Mumba. Williams wins it at the back post. It's given a penalty. What's going on there? Kennedy's down to take it. He is the best taker at the club, so we'll leave him on it. But I have no idea why that was a penalty. It didn't look like a foul, but obviously you can't tell too much from that angle. Kennedy steps up, puts it in the corner, and we are on for the biggest of shocks. Away to high flyers in League One Peterborough. McCarroll Kennedy's back with a bang, and if he carries on like this for the 2 or 3 games, Scrimshaw's going to find it very hard to get back in the team. It's Peterborough straight from the kick-off on the left into O'Keefe. That doesn't change the fact that we want to follow their model. They've got so many good young players. It's just maybe an FA Cup tie they needed a bit more experience. Straight from the kick-off, Tony gets a header on the 6-yard line, but he heads it down to O'Brien, who comfortably claims down to his right. Tony flicks the ball on from a throw-in, but only as far as Williams. Back to O'Brien. Williams is becoming an absolute monster for us. 6'6" and a jumping reach of 19. He just causes chaos at corners. He doesn't even win many of the headers. But the fact that they're always knocked down and the defender can't clear them properly, and they end up at the feet of a midfielder. Mumba's scored a few attacking the ball from deep this season as a result. Dembele's got it on the right now for Peterborough to deliver again. Cooper's up in the air but puts it just over, and we survive after half an hour with our precious 1-0 lead. They're coming forward on the right again with an attacking throw. Back to Woodyard, and Naismith plays the 1-2 with him. O'Hara 25 yards out, puts the shot in, but it's tipped wide by O'Brien. I'm pretty sure O'Hara that Peterborough signed is the one we had at Ross County last year, at the very end of our journey on the head coach in FM19. He was absolutely brilliant for us, but was a right pest off the pitch. But he did the job for us, and we were happy enough with him as we completed the great escape at Ross County. But now it's Peterborough coming forward again, and we need to get focus back to Torquay. O'Keefe on the edge of the box, back to Tafazoli, but the highlight ends, and on the stroke of half time, it looks like we're going to cling on. We've got a corner on... Oh, we've got a long throw, with Payne. It's straight at the keeper, though. No one attacking it at the near post. It looked like a corner from that angle, but I guess that's one of the downsides to this pitch view. The sideline view, you don't get the perfect angle. Bartram with a long ball up towards Kennedy, but that's where we do miss Scrimshaw, not having an aerial threat up there. Tony's been put in behind. He hits the post, and we still survive for half-time. Berkovitz clears it for Foy. Edwards John over the top. Kennedy's going to challenge, but Naismith wins the header. Mumba gets it down in midfield to Payne. Mumba's probably a player who could play in this side for Peterborough. He's a League One player and comfortably good enough. It's headed away by Peterborough, and we've given them a game in this one. Yes, they've had plenty more shots, but they've all been from long distance and from headers. They've not been key efforts on goal. At half-time, we have a miraculous 1-0 lead, and this is turning into an absolute dream tie. Let's see if we can do the same in the second half, and if we can, I will be a very happy bunny. Dembele's bringing it down the right for Peterborough. He's got that ball to the byline again, but it's knocked away, and Payne clears it comfortably. O'Brien with a free kick just outside the area. Up towards Kennedy, who loses out in the air again. Tony's bringing the ball forward 30 yards out. He's got the ball back to O'Hara. O'Hara into O'Keefe on the edge. Shoots for Peterborough. Deflects to Dembele, who's wasted an awful chance, but I think it was offside. O'Brien with a clearance down the right-hand side. Headed away by the Peterborough left-back as far as Mumba. Edwards John in behind. Foy's going to chase it, but it looks like the centre-half gets there first. Back to the keeper. Naismith on the edge. Back to the keeper again. And their long clearance this time goes as far as Hume, the left-back. Looked like he misjudged that one slightly, but he gets there in the end. O'Brien clears long down the right-hand side, but he's not going to make it past Whittaker, the left-back. Whittaker's bringing it forward again for Peterborough. Woodyard to O'Keefe. O'Keefe to O'Hara and a lovely switch of play. We've been caught out a little bit there by Naismith, the right back. Cuts it back to Woodyard. O'Hara on the edge will surely shoot. He does, but it's comfortably wide. And we're restricting them to long shots, which is good. Bartram with the throw into Edwards John, but he loses out. O'Keefe down to Tony on the edge. Unopposed, has the shot, but it's an awful effort and well over the bar. I'm starting to think about bringing Keating on just because he's got that aerial threat and maybe giving Kennedy a rest. He's only played 1 or 2 games since his injury as well, so he can't really do the 90 minutes. Dembele gets the ball back to Tafazoli. O'Keefe out to Naismith on the right-hand side of the box, Naismith brings it inside to Woodyard. They're playing it around and keeping possession. They've actually had 66%, 2/3 of the ball in this game, but they've only had shots from the edge, really. I say as they get a delivery in from the left from Cooper. Cooper beats his man and goes back again, but we defend brilliantly again. It's clear to halfway and they're coming straight back at us, but they're defending so hard, the boys here. O'Hara into Cooper, and he's offside, and the highlight will end. What a brilliant defensive display so far. It's an out-swinging corner from Dembele. Tafazoli with a free header in the 6-yard box, but he's put it over the bar and we still survive. We're going to think about those subs in a minute. The warning to close Tony down, which we'll take up. We get towards the quarter of the game remaining, and that's it. We're going to do it. We're going to take Kennedy off despite the fact he scored. Foy will go into the advance role with Keating in behind, just because they're a bit better in the air and the two of them might be able to win some flick-ons then. Payne's really struggling for fitness, but we've got a natural replacement in Walker, and we'll switch Mumba into that deeper role so he can try and dictate possession a bit more. The last sub we want to make is Edwards-John, but we're going to give it 5 more minutes before we bring Balling on. Hume's got a long throw this time as Payne's gone off. Foy flicks it down, and we've got another penalty. Who's going to take this one? It's down as Keating. We're going to let him have it. A silly challenge from Whittaker. He was going nowhere, Foy. But it's going to be a penalty, and hopefully Keating can do the same as Kennedy. He's barely had a kick this season, but can he score from the spot? He can't. But the rebound's in. O'Malley puts it straight back out to him and reacts first. What a finish by the lad. And we're 2-0 up away at League One Peterborough. Bobson Balling, what I was saying is he's had joint most assists for us this season. He's been really good in front of goal. And we've gone toe-to-toe with Peterborough as a balanced attack. We've not gone cautious, we've not counter-attacked. We've had 2 clear-cut chances to 2. Yes, they've had 3 times the amount of shots and more possession, but that's only because they've been going from distance and trying more speculative efforts. We've defended so well in this game, and we've just got 10 more minutes to hold on. They've knocked it down, it deflects, and that looks like it's going to be our day. Amir Berkovic, not a hard-working player, but he threw himself in front of it and deflected it just wide for a corner. O'Hara shoots and it deflects in, but it's off Godden and he was offside, and we're still at 2-0. With 5 minutes to go, we're going to change things up a bit now. Time wasting all the time, a bit more disciplined. We're not going to float crosses in anymore. And we're also going to slow pace down when we get the ball with the goalkeeper. Hopefully that'll do for now, and we'll go defensive shortly if we're still 2-0 up. Gordon wins the flick on from the throw-in. Dembele switches it to Whittaker. O'Hara on halfway, gives it away to Balling. He's put Foy in. Foy shoots from 25 yards and Malley has to tip it wide. It might have just been going wide of the target anyway, but the keeper wasn't to know that. Mumba's going to take the corner with an outswinger. To the back post towards Williams again. He's won the header, but it was absolutely awful, and it's wide for a goal kick. I'm so excited about this performance. We're going to go defensive now as we go into 3 minutes of stoppage time. Surely they can't get 2 goals as Bartram tries his hand at a long throw now. It's headed away as far as Brad Walker. Walker's going to get the ball back out, is he? He's not. He's taking his time on halfway. Just make sure you don't lose it now, son. You're leaving 1-on-1 if you do. Takes 20 seconds and lays it back to O'Brien. Absolutely superb. Keating loses out in the air and Godden gets Dembele in, but Dembele can't quite get there even with his pace, and it's out for a throw-in in the left-back area. The referee blows for full time, and I can assure you I did not see that coming after the Wrexham performance. We're through to the 3rd round against a brilliant League One Peterborough team, and I am so happy with that performance. Congratulations goes to the lads, and we'll see what they've said about that performance. They better not say we were lucky. Can see our rivals from last year, Billericay, lost at home to Doncaster, but we want to worry about our performance. They're telling us we're counting our blessings. I'm not having that. Yes, they had 3 times the amount of shots in the possession, but they were just shooting from anywhere. We can all shoot from anywhere and say we had 20 shots on goal. It's the old FIFA approach that. We'll shoot from anywhere and say, oh, we had more shots, we deserve to win. But we got 2 penalties from 2 stupid challenges. We caused chaos from set pieces. 1 came from a corner and 1 from a long throw. And Kennedy and Keating, 2 of the stars from last year, did the business. And maybe I've sold Keating short. We need to say that we've got 4 good strikers at the club. And the fact he can barely get a kick this season shows how good we are. We get 27,000 in terms of prize money for winning that game. We won in the 2nd round of the FA Cup. We've been offered a deal to loan Tyler to Havant at Waterlooville, and they're going to cover all of his wage. So that's brilliant for us financially again. Unfortunately, we've not got too much from gate receipts because they only had 3,000 through the gate. It's about similar to our home attendance. But if we can get a big draw in the 3rd round, it could be the big changing point of this whole series. Forget about where we are in the league. Forget about how quickly or slowly we're going to move up the divisions. Getting a youth recruitment in place so we can have youth intakes will be the key part for me. I love developing young talent on Football Manager. As you've probably seen over on my other Save the Head Coach, it's something that I'm really fond of. It's one of my favourite things to do. And if we're going to be here long term, I'd happily take a couple of extra years to get to the top if it means that we're going to have our own players coming through when we get there. An unbelievable first game in this episode, but the big action keeps on coming as we have a game against league leaders Forest Green, 1st v 2nd, in just 3 days' time. We'll be back in a second for that one. I couldn't help myself, we've had to stop off at the FA Cup third round draw. Of course you want to see who we get. Hopefully it won't be as underwhelming as the ones we used to have in FM18, where I think we were with Dover and looking for the big tie and we ended up drawing Alfreton at home. But all the big boys from the Premier League and Championship are in, and out of the 44 teams we'll take just about any of them. It's actually our second draw of the day. We've already drawn at home to Herne Bay in the FA Trophy first round, so a good chance for some of our backup players to get a game. But let's get into this draw. We're going to do it the old-fashioned style. We're going to draw them one at a time. We want to avoid all the smaller teams like Wimbledon and Fleetwood. Arsenal are already out, one of the big six are gone. Sheffield Wednesday dropped to League One, but we wouldn't have minded that. Another National League team, we want to avoid them. City away, that'd be one we'll have. They've drawn Hull, that's two of the big six gone. There's lots of Premier League teams coming out already, which I'm not very happy about. Newcastle away would have been lovely, so would Burnley, but we've not got either of those. Sunderland away wouldn't be bad, I know they're League One, but they've drawn Leicester, which means another Premier League team's gone. But we've got a big one, there we go. Huddersfield away, a Championship side. They came down last season, obviously. They're down in mid-table, actually, but they're a big club. In comparison to where we are, if we can get them to get 15,000 through the gate, that could change our season for gate receipts. I doubt being away from home will get on TV, but I have absolutely no doubts that this is going to change the entire save. We'll skip through the rest of the draw because we're not worried about anyone else. You can see we were one team away from being at home to United, but to be honest, financially an away tie against the big Championship team's probably going to be better for us. So no complaints about that one. It's an absolutely massive tie. It'll be on the 4th of January, so I'm pretty sure you know that's going to feature in episode 5. But let's get on to this Forest Green game in the league. We'll be back in a second for the top of the table clash. We're back for the big league game. This is turning into one of the biggest episodes of the series so far. A massive FA Cup draw, a massive FA Cup shock before that to get there, and now we're playing the league leaders with a chance to try and close the gap. They did win at the weekend while we were in cup action, so they've now gone 10 points clear. We do have to face it's probably going to be playoffs this year, but I'm more than happy with that, to be honest, especially with the FA Cup run. Let's get into it. Forest Green are heavy favourites. When's the last time you've seen that at home for us? As predicted, Scrimshaw's ban did get extended for another 2 games, so he misses this one and the game against 5th place Sutton at the weekend. Jamie Jones isn't quite fit again yet, but aside from that, we've got some of the key players back. So let's have a look at the lineup for today. Just the 2 changes. Darren White comes in at right back for Bartram because he's fit again. Sokolic's fit again. He comes back in at centre half for Johnny Byrne, who's very tired. Although Williams isn't quite fully fit, we do want to try and get a lead through set pieces, and then Sendles White's on the bench if we need to get a replacement on towards the end. A lot of other players have a fitness around that 90% mark, but they are all marked as match fit, so we're going to give them a game. We've got able deputies if we need them. O'Sullivan and Balling can cover the wings. We've got Walker who can cover centre half and centre midfield too, and Ruari Keating's still there up front, with Scrimshaw's suspension continuing. Let's get into the game and hope that it will go just as well as the first one, and in fact as well as the game against Forest Green in the FA Cup first round. Their left winger Jack Diamond, on loan from our parent club Sunderland, just got player of the month for the league. We're going to tell him to prove a point and see if it goes anywhere. The assistant told us to do it for the fans, but we're not worried about that. Payne's got the ball from the kick-off to Kennedy. Berkovitz on the left-hand side. He goes back to Payne, but we've given it away, and that's a very sloppy-looking start. Thomas is bringing it forward down the middle for them to Lang on the edge of the box. Lang with a shot, oh dear. 20 seconds in, and we're starting to show a bit of a hangover from Saturday's game. We've got a big attendance in, you can already see a lot more of the seats are filled. And unfortunately, with 5 minutes gone, we're behind and defending again. We haven't had a shot yet, and we haven't had much of the ball either. Emmanuel Thomas to James on the edge, deflects to Lang, and that's not far away either. We've been asked to close down Lang from the start here because he was such a threat in the last game, but it didn't work in that first 20 seconds, did it? Shepherd bringing it forward to Akupong. We've got a warning to close down Lang again now. James' shots deflect, but luckily O'Brien's equal to it. I'm a little bit concerned. They've got another corner now. They are all over us. Williams heads away. Thomas gets it out wide to James again. James back to Emmanuel Thomas into Agyapong. His shot's blocked and Edwards Johns hoofs it away for a throw-in. We're going to start demanding more already because this has been an awful start. We've had a couple of shots now, none of which we've seen on camera, and with half an hour gone, we're still 1-0 down. Finally, an attacking highlight as White has the outswinging corner. Williams knocked it down at the back post and Mumba! Oh, that's a good chance. You can't waste those. But he's skied it. Foy gets the ball from a long throw, but he loses out. Payne again. Payne beats his man and crosses to the back post. Just ahead of Kennedy, but he cuts it back into Berkovic. Great save by the keeper at close range. And Forest Green can bring it away on the counter with Lang. Brings it over halfway to Diamond. Diamond gets it out to the left-hand side to Pring, and we look very susceptible here. Thomas loses out to Williams in the air, and thankfully it's away from danger for now. But it continues until Hume hoofs long. Kennedy loses out in the air, and they're coming straight back at us again. It's Thomas out to James. James out to Shepherd on the right-hand side. Hume loses out in the air, but Payne gets there. It's another attack for them almost immediately afterwards. James on the edge of the box to Lang. Lang 25 yards out. Emmanuel Thomas goes for a ridiculous effort, and O'Brien has to tip it over. It was at least 35 yards, a curling effort. But O'Brien was equal to it, and now they've got another corner. Thomas loses out in the air to Williams, but Williams gets a free kick as well. Thomas looks like he's about to get a yellow card, is he? He does, and hopefully we can wind him up into a red. There's the half-time whistle. What a poor performance that's been. We're going to get right into them at this half-time. We're going to get aggressive. In fact, we're just going to be assertive for this one. Show something else. They're all fired up and motivated, but hopefully they'll actually take some action on the pitch to prove it. Long ball from Forest Green from the kick-off, and Williams hoofs it over the top. Again, we're struggling not having any aerial threat up front, but there's not much we can do about that. We managed to work it most of last season, but we just haven't had that bit of quality in the middle today. Pring's being asked to close down now as Edwards John clears it long. Davis gets it up to Thomas 25 yards out and Payne wins it. He does find Kennedy in the left channel now. He's got Foy in the middle if he can find him. He does, and Foy puts it in. How many times do we score goals like this? So brilliant and brutal on the counter-attack, and against all the odds on the run of play, we're level after 5 minutes of the second half. 10 minutes into this second half now, Pring's got the throw in from the left to Lang. Crossed again to Agyapong, and they've gone ahead almost immediately. Absolutely terrible marking at the back post, and what you can't do is gift them a goal. And we're 2-1 down, and to be honest, we don't deserve to win this. You can see why Forest Green are running away with the league. They're a different animal to the team we played in the FA Cup. But White with an outswinging corner, which Thomas heads away for Forest Green. Shepherd bringing it over halfway line, and we've got 2-on-2 at the back here. We're a bit concerned. Long ball into the box. Sokolic heads away. Did well to get back there, the centre half. White over the top to Foy. Awful challenge by Pring, but it looks like an expert challenge in the end. We thought he looked terrible. It was from behind, but he won the ball, and that's all that matters to them. You used to think you can't challenge from behind anymore, but Mumba does the same for us to win it back. White gets the ball down the line to Edwards John, who's had a really poor game. Kennedy flicks the ball on. Foy's in one-on-one after a defensive mishap, but Montgomery makes a brilliant save to tip it wide. It looked like it was going to be equal again, but unfortunately it was tipped behind by the keeper. Williams wins the ball from the corner, and is knocked down but into the path of a defender. Diamond on the counter-attack, and Hume makes a brilliant challenge, injuring himself and Diamond in the process. We're going to bring on O'Sullivan for that injured Hume. Edwards John's had a poor game, so Balling comes on off the bench. And Jack Payne's not had the best game again, so Mumba switches into that holding role with Walker getting into the box as that box-to-box midfielder. White with an outswinging corner now. Williams is there again, knocks it down for Walker and it's blocked. Williams again on the left-hand side. Williams finds Berkovic. Berkovic to Walker. Walker switches it out to White, but it's blocked. Sokolic gets it again though. White to Balling. His cross is blocked too. Pring's got time in the left-back area and clears long downfield. Only as far as Darren White, who finds Balling the substitute. Long ball up towards the centre-half, who clears it away. Walker to Mumba. Mumba gets it out onto the left-hand side to Berkovic. Berkovic into Kennedy. What a cross that was. Low across the front post. Kennedy with a brilliant run to get in front of the centre-half. And again against the run of play, we've levelled things up. We have been a bit better since the substitutes, but Forest Green will still feel hard done by. 20 minutes to go, and now it's Forest Green on the left again. White heads it away as far as James. James to Pring, back to Brown on the edge of the box. Brown to James. James switches it out to Shepherd on the right-hand side. Shepherd's taking the man on again, and we're going to be under pressure again in this occasion. But we've won it back with a slide challenge, and O'Sullivan over the top. Kennedy on the left-hand side, taking on the centre-half. Into Foy. Foy's shot's blocked, and is out for a corner. We're getting across them at the front post now. The front two have been absolutely brilliant so far. White's got the ball into the box to Williams. Williams loses out, but Berkovic will get it on the front. In a game where they've had almost no service, the front two have created chances for themselves. It's the sort of performance that makes us see that they're Football League players. But the highlight ends, and with 15 minutes to go, it's 2-2. James on the edge of the box to Brown for Forest Green. Out to Shepherd on the right into Agyapong. Into Thomas, deflects straight into the path of Agyapong. But O'Sullivan recovers brilliantly to put it behind for a corner. And we've just got to see this one out now. A draw would be a really good performance and a really good result to seal a playoff place for us. It would almost certainly get us a top 7 place at the end of the season and guarantee that Forest Green are going to win the league. They've got another in-swinging corner now from the left-hand side. Grubb's going to take this one in towards Collins. Williams heads it away again. James goes for the volley that deflects. And Davis gets the ball back in the middle of the half. It's absolutely breathless stuff here. We're barely getting a pause in play. Grubb gets the ball out as far as Agyapong. Agyapong to Brown and now James 30 yards out to the right. Shepherd to Agyapong, and I hope we get a break sooner. I'm going to have to get an oxygen mask. Williams clears the ball for a throw and we do get a break in play. We have changed things up a bit now. We've just gone to that time-wasting discipline tactic to get the point. Berkovic goes for a shot and Montgomery tips it behind. And I tell you what, this second half has been a fantastic game. What an advert for the league it's been. Doesn't look like non-league football at all. Two sides that could easily be playing in the Football League next year. And hopefully will be from our side of things. We're into the final 5. White's got the in-swinging corner. Pring heads the ball away as he's hit a corner off target for once. Berkovic to Walker. Berkovic on the right in unfamiliar territory. Walker gets the ball into Foy on the edge, but he shoots. It's a bit speculative and it's over the bar. A throw in on the left from O'Sullivan, who tries his hand at the long throw. Kennedy knocks it back to Berkovic on the edge, and again he's forced the keeper into a brilliant save. Montgomery tips it over and we've got another in-swinging corner to come. White, the fullback, taking them as always. He's going to be aiming for Williams at the back post, but can he find him? And for once, can Williams make the most of it? He's not been the best from them today. It's up towards him, but it's overhit, and he's headed away as far as Berkovic again. 5 minutes of overtime to be played. It's Forest Green with the attack. Grubb gets the ball to Brown 30 yards out. Back out to Grubb on the left-hand side. Deflects off ball in for a corner. And we're just going to drop to cautious. We want to try and hold on here and make sure we can catch him on the counter if need be. Grubb with the in-swinging corner, which Williams hoofs away with his feet this time. James gets the ball out to Grubb again, who delivers. Sokolic's the big man this time, and James's rebound's blocked. Brown gets the ball out to Pring on the right this time. His in-swinger finds O'Brien, and he comfortably claims and will take his time. 30 seconds to go as the throw comes in on the right. Lang gets the ball to Agyapong. We've just got to hold on here, but it's deflected for another corner off O'Sullivan. And it's going to be the last chance of the game. An out-swinging corner from Forest Green. Grubb's ball in, Agyapong down for Lang. What a save by O'Brien. Tipped it onto the crossbar and it flies back out. Davis with the ball to James. James's shot's blocked and the final whistle goes. It's not quite as good a performance and result as the Peterborough game, but what a performance and fight back to get a point in that second half, and we've told them exactly that in the team talk. It may have made the episode slightly long, but a video full of plenty of action, I hope you'll agree. If you did enjoy it, please put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you think of our FA Cup draw. We'll of course be back for that game at the start of January. Let me know how you think we'll get on in that one. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager content from 2 FM19 stories, this one part of the furniture with Torquay United, and our other series, The Head Coach, where we work under a director of football with no say in transfers or contracts. A massive thanks for watching as always, and we'll see you next time for more big games from Torquay United.